Sega's Sonic team is once again shaking up Sonic's roots in an all-new 2D side-scroller. Sonic Superstars sees the style getting a dramatic shift from pixel sprites to full 3D models. Along for the changes are Sonic's friends, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Additionally, Sonic Superstars looks to change the solo experience as the game features full co-op from beginning to end with up to 4 players. From most previews, Sonic Superstars appears to be receiving some great reception. Many are detailing that Sonic and friends play great in 2D, and the stages are welcome additions as they're all brand new. Though some questions were raised with the co-op mechanic and how it would translate to Sonic's speed. As well, it was questioned how useful the new Chaos Emerald powers would really be. Today I want to provide you with my review on Sonic Superstars. I'd like to start with some of the positives. The first thing is the amazing animation work done in the cutscenes. The opening cutscene is beautiful, and it has a hand-drawn stylization. The colors are vibrant and alive. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are all very expressive. The animated cutscenes provide a simplified Saturday morning type of cartoon. There's no dialogue, but you get the gist of what's going on from what you see. As well, between each zone, there's a little stage transition where a character runs through a certain location and there's either just comic relief or an indication you're headed to another location. Another thing I'd like to detail is the stages themselves as well as their layouts. Most of the stages contain a layout that promotes the vertical exploration, almost as much as the horizontal exploration, allowing you to explore farther than ever before on a Sonic stage. It's almost like they've taken the idea of a 3D stage with different levels and different depths and considered it when they built 2D stages. For example, on Zone 5, I found myself running through it over and over again, trying to figure out where it was that I needed to go to locate the Chaos Emerald Special stage. I'd say almost all stages require you to replay it at least once or twice to change characters and fully explore the map. Exploration of the stages can lead you to a new Chaos Emerald ring, a blue ring for more Sonic medals, mazes like Sonic 1 for more Sonic medals, or black holes for more rings. Okay, so it does get a little bit redundant here. But on the bright side, they do break up the gameplay a bit. I just wish that the Sonic medals gave us something different. See, the Sonic medals, they go to a shop that doesn't provide too much. There's plenty for customization. You can build a robot, altering its head, arms, body, legs, and paint jobs too. It's pretty snazzy for the customization purpose, but it's all for the side piece of the game, the multiplayer. And not the co-op part where you play through the story, but the battle mode. I wish the medals provided something more. Maybe something like behind the scenes key art, some sketches, a layout of the entire zones as art, just something that rewards you for collecting so many of these medals. Previous Sonic games have allowed you to add random cheats like Sonic Mania, adding the Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles, or like a tag-along character. These could have been used for so much more, but I suppose the use in battle mode is better than nothing. While we're on the topic of multiplayer, I need to touch on the co-op of the story and the battle mode. Both play vastly different. Story mode plays as you expect, but having multiple characters on screen and moving so fast, especially in the beginning of the game, it's difficult. It's hard to keep everybody on the same screen. One character normally pulls ahead, and then the other characters get pulled to that same location. And it might work a few times, but always being pulled ahead doesn't feel like an enjoyable experience. This mechanic of co-op may work best when both players aren't too familiar with the speed, because in that case, if they're both inexperienced, then it becomes a little more balanced. But the battle mode isn't too much to write about anyways. It sees you pitted against other characters, other robots, fighting each other, and that's about it. The game feels very reminiscent to the classic game series. Sonic and Company, each character feels very similar, but they feel a little bit heavier than their previous iterations. It feels like it just takes an extra second or two to wind up their full run animation. It's not something detrimental, it's just something that's noticeable, and over time it becomes less and less noticeable. For example, take a look at Sonic here. Here, we see Sonic beginning his run, and while it does start up, but it takes him just a bit longer to get to that full sprint like he used to. There's definitely a different feel there. When you do get moving though, you really start flying through the stage, just as if you were playing the 16-bit Sonic the Hedgehog. Each character as well has their own abilities that differentiate how they play. Everybody does run fast and everybody can turn into a ball, but Sonic has the drop dash, Tails can fly, Knuckles can glide and climb walls, as well Amy has her Pico Hammer. That Pico Hammer allows her to double jump as well. It protects her from getting injured in almost every jump as it circles around her as she jumps. I don't really have much to complain about when it comes to the characters, except for Knuckles. Knuckles has this weird moment where when he stops gliding, he drops instantly. While it is in other games, it doesn't seem like it takes as long. And I just want to talk about the character models. They're very cute, toy-like, and almost plush-like. But I wish they would have done something to make a new style for Sonic. Something I've been asking for personally, to capture the look of Sonic and characters in the animated cutscenes. Having a 2D game with that animation would be amazing. While I think Sonic Team has a great idea for switching from pixel animation, I feel they could have taken the page from Nintendo's book and made their animation a little more expressive, lively, and unique. In Super Mario Wonder, Mario jumps in the air just as he did in the sprite-based versions. He retained a very specific look throughout the jump, and in Sonic, while it's a little harder to capture because he becomes a ball, I'm sure they could find another way to animate him so it signifies a specific state. Now this section was written after playing some of Super Mario Wonder, and I'd mainly detail this because this did change the perspective I had on the Sonic stages. See, Sonic stages all feel very natural. They feel like everything within combines together flawlessly. They have their own identities that fit their realm. But after playing Super Mario Wonder, I found myself asking, why does the background seem so bland? There are some unique little aspects, like you see Knuckles here, you see Tails flying in here, or you see Sonic running in the desert. Amy also is here. There are details that are small and unique, but generally, the stage itself just doesn't feel quite alive. The atmosphere doesn't feel quite as energetic. I know I'm comparing this a lot to Super Mario Wonder, but they did come out around the same time. In Super Mario Wonder, everything feels like alive and moving. Maybe that's because of the Wonder Seeds, but the energy throughout the stages just feels something different. Something I've noticed is the music doesn't really take any changes. It doesn't add anything to the audio cues. You hear his spin dash or you hear his jump, but nothing changes with the rhythm or flow of the music. Really, the only time you see the change is when he's underwater. Aside from that, the majority of the level and the music is static. There isn't a vast variety aside from the actual design of the platforms that you're running on. Overall, I think Sonic Superstars is a fairly decent platformer with enjoyable sections and enjoyable characters. It's a nice run through Sonic in 2D. I would say to go even as far as a great Sonic game. I like what they've put in the game, and I feel like, again, as most things with Sonic, it's a great base for something that could be amazing overall. But there's definitely some need for changes or some new implementation of aspects that could define the new generation of Sonic 2D. Now, if I had to place a rating on Sonic Superstars, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. It's a solid game with good level design and layouts, and it's a great single player game, but there are things that hold it back from being much better than that. Its main issue, I would say, is its multiplayer, which is also its main selling point. But there's so much to be desired, so many things that could be added to make this an overall amazing experience. Seeing Sonic return in 2D has been great. I just feel there could have been things ironed out to add to the overall value of this game. Sonic Superstars strives for greatness and achieves that in its solo mode, but as Superstars, it does fall a little flat. Thanks for watching, till next time.